Welcome to Entanglement in the Half-Life 2 playthrough.
Are we still in the prison?
No. Well, yes, but no. We're on the outskirts of it.
Did we free Eli yet?
No. Have you been paying attention?
I thought we were going to the prison to save Eli.
Yeah. But he's not there. Exactly.
Oh.
Well, he is because this whole place is still Nova Prospect.
It's her!
I'm glad you made it here in one piece.
This
Look
is
at that.
basically...
What happens if you stand under her?
I imagine you die.
Let's get out of here.
Probably not.
snaps
I
your
think the
neck.
game probably just pushes you. I think the game pushes you out of the way. I think what happened to you on that live stream with Dog is that the game tried to use its pushing away algorithm to push you out of Dog, but Dog also moved in the exact same direction. So it did the algorithm to push you out, and then you still weren't out. So the game was just like, okay, kill him.
That was so funny, but that was so infuriating because I just wanted to get the Raven home.
Mind here.
And I
Shouldn't have been fucking around. Shouldn't have been fucking around.
Yeah, but you know, I showed off a new aspect of your favorite game. You should thank me.
You did.
You're welcome.
You did. I should be less of a bitch, I think, when watching people play video games.
I should turn this
Run
down.
away, Alyx!
That gun is loud.
Yeah, this is a loud part. What the fuck?
I'm glad it was loud for you too, apparently.
All right.
I mean, I had the
I had it
volume up
turned-
for the near part.
Yeah,
like-
so did I. Where's the goodies? There's none.
Oof.
But yeah, no, we're in the deeper part of the Nova Prospect facility now. So we get to see all the other prisoners and stuff.
Right, I think I can bring
And now from here, once we, get Eli and everything, it'll be a fight to get back through City 17 to get to the Citadel.
there.
And that's pretty much the rest of the progression of the game right there. Sorry, spoilers for the 21-year-old game.
I mean, people can still spoil Final Fantasy VII, apparently, so...
Yeah. I'm looking at like the building here, and like it looks very simple because it's an old ass fucking game. You can tell it's like all flat ass walls, and shit like that. But and then I think of Half-Life Alyx, and Alyx adapts the Half-Life 2 City 17
Should be in here.
aesthetic exceptionally well into like a modern graphical style.
Yeah.
It's still like distinctly Half-Life looking, which is amazing that they were able to do that. But still have that level of detail. I really fucking appreciate the art design of Half-Life Alyx. I can't wait for us to get to that game, because goddamn, it is good.
I am fearful it's going to be super disorienting to watch you play a VR game, but we'll find out.
Oh no, it'll be fine because Alyx has built-in like spectator smoothing, so it makes it not look as horrendous for someone who's not in the headset to watch the footage. So
I talked to Dr. Kleiner. His portal was almost working again.
yeah,
If he's managed to repair it, we'll end up there. If he hasn't,
we got Eli, kinda, but not really. We can't get him out of here.
That's some tough-ass glass, apparently.
we're not
It's
leaving here.
combine glass.
Final.
Whatever that means.
Can't leave Judith here either.
The shortening of the phrase is com-ass.
I'm going to send you to the teleport chamber. I'm not saying goodbye, Dad.
That sounds like something from
We'll meet you
Gundam.
there.
I know you.
You guys are dramatic.
I'll see you there, baby.
Like, jeez, it's just your dad being imprisoned by an alien race.
He'll be
Relax.
fine. This
He'll
is an
be
episode 2.
fine. Yeah, he ain't getting stabbed in the head by any big-ass booger creatures.
All right. Over here.
I do remember when I played this for the first time being a little frustrated when we got here to rescue Eli, and then we don't rescue Eli.
There's still more to do.
Yeah.
I feel like
Apparently
you could
one
have
of the-
rescued Eli and then Alyx got captured or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And now we're already separated from fucking Alyx again for the time being. But speaking of Eli, I do remember one of the like story for Half-Life Alyx before it was finalized was written by a complete like newbie to the game writing scene. Valve hired them to write the story of Half-Life Alyx, and it was apparently so bad that he was immediately fired. And they brought back the Portal 2 writers to do it.
That's
and they had
so
to rewrite
harsh.
the entire story. It like
That's like the
it
most
was
no shit scenario I've ever seen in my life. And like,
It
I'm
was
kind of pissed they fired him.
yeah, like I can't believe that he was hired. Like he got the opportunity of a lifetime writing a new Half-Life game, and it was his first go at it. So of course he's not gonna fucking write
Probably
something
just
amazing.
wrote fan fiction.
Effectively, yes, because he knew the game was a prequel, so he wrote it in the context of this can't change anything in the world or the story really. So what it ended up being was the Combine had Eli and forced him to do these propaganda ads for the Combine to quell the resistance. And you're basically you're going to rescue Eli the whole game, and then you rescue Eli, and the G-Man appears and thanks you, and that's essentially the story of the game. And keep in mind, the entire gameplay of the game was fully done. All the levels were made at this point, and they had the entire story voice acted and animated before they decided it was bad and they needed to change it.
That's
Which is why
such a
Alyx.
waste of time. My
Well,
goodness.
it's why Alyx. Its story. A lot of it is told through just Russell and Alyx talking through the headset at each other, and it's a more of a low key kind of story. So, I mean, I say low key, but then the ending is just completely fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But you know, I love that game.
I can't believe they got that far. Like,
Well,
that
no,
makes me
the
really
Valve-
question what's going on at Valve if they got that far and then realized, hey, wait, this is kind of hot garbage.
No, Valve values playtesting more than anything, and all of their playtesters told them the story was bad.
So did they like it?
So do
I
they
just
like the
can't
new
believe-
story? Is that what you're asking?
I mean, did they like the old story? Apparently, I don't know. I'm still just kind of
I
pissed
don't
off
know.
that they fired this guy.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
think like
this guy. I feel like it's on them.
I mean, yeah. But I mean, if you're hired to write a story and it turns out to be really garbage, they're probably not, you didn't do the job that they hoped you would do.
Unless this
So,
guy was just a
it
really,
is
really
harsh.
good con artist.
I mean, from what I know, he was a complete newbie to the scene. So it's like crazy that they hired him and they were like, yeah, you can write a story. He must have had like a really good portfolio of writing, but he just didn't understand Half-Life is the thing. That's what I imagine happened. And now like he's had all that work experience at Valve that he can no longer put in like a portfolio. He can't say, oh yeah, I wrote the story of this massive VR video game from Valve. He can't put that on his portfolio because they didn't use that story. So that kind of sucks for this guy. I'm not.
We're gonna
But
see
at the same
like
time-
a fan game emerge where he teamed up with a crew and been like, "You're gonna make my real story. You're gonna tell it to the world." It's just aiming a gun at a bunch of programmers.
I just cannot believe that they had, because like I can't. They had fully animated cutscenes for that shit.
Yeah, it's like,
Done.
how did you not realize no one was gonna like it? It's like, damn. This is like,
Well, I mean,
it's
it's
like
because the
Anthem,
story.
or not Anthem, Concord, but they actually play tested it and learned, oh wait, no, this is kind of bad.
It's because this, like, the story for these Valve games is traditionally like the last thing that gets completed. So this was probably like when the playtest for this started. It was probably the first time the entire story was implemented into the game. You know, so I can. And Valve has a very quick turnaround on stuff like that, like the art side of things. Because their new game that still isn't officially announced or out yet, Deadlock, went through some major changes over the last couple years. It started out as a Half-Life multiplayer game, and then it became this like futuristic space thing. And that was like at the end of 2023 into 2024. It was this like sci-fi cartoony looking game, and then in 3 months they changed it into what it is now. So
That's like
because
even
people
more
did
impressive
not
than
like-
Miyamoto rewriting Ocarina of Time 3 months before it released. And they had to remake all the cutscenes.
Yeah.
And we're still
People just
thankful they did it
genuinely-
in-game.
People just genuinely did not like the sci-fi aesthetic that Neon Prime was going for, so they went for something a little more Valorant-y, is what I would describe it as. And it's working out because the pro game scene is loving it.
They
It's
got
like
the
one of the
same
most popular games
playtesters.
on Steam.
They got the same playtesters who played Concord, and they were like, "Look, those idiots at Sony didn't listen to us. Don't be like them. Just listen to us. Please change it."
Yeah. It's yeah. Yeah, I can't believe Deadlock is still currently one of the most popular Steam games, and it's still not even officially announced and
How is
released
it not
yet.
announced? You can literally go to the Steam page and download the beta. People stream it. How does that
No,
not count
you
as
have
announced?
to you have to get an invite link from someone who has it.
Okay, but point is, people are streaming it. So like, how does that not count as unannounced or as unannounced? Like
They
what?
have they have the Steam page up because they realize literally everyone knows about it. So let's just put it up. It's still it's completely unfinished. So like people are just playing this unfinished game and loving it, which is crazy. I feel like the entire life cycle of this game is going to happen before they even release it, and then they're not even going to release it.
Yeah, what happened to Splitgate?
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this section.
It's kind of neat. It's kind of
Tower
annoying to manage the
defense.
turret. It's definitely annoying to manage the turrets. Because they will just walk up to them bitches, the Combine will, and just, like, push them over. So you have to keep them up.
Just walk up to it and push it over while they're being shot at.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens, because they aim at the closest person to them. Well, if they get behind them, the turrets can't turn behind them, so...
Good
Let me
job.
get my spot.
Yeah. I am spoiled by turret sections like this in Halo. So like those are some of the
Where
best
you
ones
can
I've
just
played.
control the turret.
Well, you can control it, and you have AI companions worth a damn, and it's really
Oh,
epic and fun to
yeah.
play. That's what I mean. I'm spoiled by like it's just like more fun with more.
I
Modern
like
design.
the turrets. I do like in Half-Life when you get like a mounted turret that you can use. But you know, they're very just simple sections, anyways, so it's not like a crazy thing. Man hacks. Fuck the man hacks. You know, I think the smarter thing to do would be to have the turrets just where they currently are, but facing the opposite direction, so that they just kill whoever comes up the stairs to push them over.
Am I the only one who misses automated on-rails turret sections? Because, like, if they're done right, and they're only, like, a minute at most, I think they're super fun and memorable. I'm just saying. I miss the 2000s in gaming.
I do like them. I do, you know, I like... I know I always used to complain about games that lack cohesion, but I do kind of like games when they just have a bunch of random shit in them that varies up the gameplay.
Oh, you're gonna love FF7.
But how varied does the gameplay get?
Sorry, it took
Pretty varied. Like, completely different games.
Is there a platformer?
No.
Then I don't want it.
Well, there's never a dedicated jump button. There's just automated jumps that happen as you go.
That's surprisingly satisfying in, like, the 3D Zelda games that have
Well,
the
then maybe you'll
jump.
like the one section in the game that uses it. That's like 2 hours into the game. And lasts for 5 seconds.
Just like me, am I right, ladies?
I think you mean fellas.
True.
My face is red.
I mean, I was talking about the ladies I have slept with, but... because they know best.
Okay, I'm gonna end this now.
Damn her, I don't believe this!
Fucking Mossman, bitch.
Come on, Gordon, now we've really gotta hurry.
She's like double. She's supposed to be like double undercover, but I genuinely don't know at this point. At the end of episode 2, people are just kind of like, yeah, we trust her. So, whatever.
I feel like you should have just gotten a shooter at some point.
Yeah, if Half-Life 2 is a good game, we'd still be able to kill all the NPCs.
Exactly. I will be
imagine
Judge
a Half-Life
Judy and
2
executioner.
Imagine a Half-Life 2 where you kill the story NPCs and the story is permanently altered because of their absence.
One day we'll get a game that fully encapsulates that and it'll be cool.
And unfortunately, none of the characters would have any staying power like all the ones in this game do.
They could. There would be players out there who wouldn't kill anybody.
I guess.
Actually, there kind of is a game like that. Undertale.
Oh,
You can kill everybody. I saw that edit. But,
yeah, I died in this
the only problem I hear with
section.
Undertale is it's just really preachy about it. And really, really wants to make you feel bad.
Uh-huh. I feel like in a game as scripted and sequenced as Half-Life is,
No, it would never work at all.
they would have to have a completely different like system in place for it to work.
Like, imagine if you killed everybody except for one random dude. Like, is that random dude still going to be relevant past this sequence? Because he's alive? Like, what would happen, you know? Actually,
I feel like they
Prey from Arcane Studios
Bethesda?
lets you kill everybody.
Huh.
So I guess there's one. And that one does change the story a lot because it's very story-driven. So I guess
Well, I
give
was
that
just
a play
thinking of
give that a couple playthroughs and see how different it can feel.
I was just thinking of how it would work in this game. Like, effectively in that sequence, that turret sequence, it would be so much harder because you wouldn't have the turrets that Alyx hacked if you killed Alyx earlier in the game.
Well, like, I think the key to it is it has to be in short stories. So, like, in Prey, the overall story probably isn't going to be too different outside of, like, 1 to 3, maybe 4 different endings you can get. What changes are the individual stories. And the stories between characters and how those play out. And how they react to you as the player. And your actions. And I think that's what makes it more interesting instead of an overall plot. Because obviously, that's just too big. There's too many factors to control.
Yeah.
But if you write individual stories, I think you can make it much more effective. You know, imagine like a Hitman game, but like every level plays out severely differently. Like maybe your target's randomized on who actually is supposed to be killed in the level. Or you can just ignore it and such and try and help them and free them, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
I've never played Hitman, so maybe that's like that, but...
I got no clue. I just know the point in Hitman is to kill, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we did have Half-Life 1 where you could indeed kill everybody. But what happened when you killed people who were important to your progression, the game would just say, mission failed, and then it would respawn you.
I think it was one of the Ultima games, because like a big thing about the Ultima games, you could do whatever, because it was trying to emulate D&D, so like you could kill all the NPCs, and like in one of them, they intentionally made it so you couldn't beat the game if you killed everybody, because they got angry at players killed everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
So
but
how
all
I
hear
play
is
this
Mossman
section?
when she talks.
How I play this section? I mean, they're all like voiced by middle-aged women and men. So, but
Okay.
how I play this section is I just put the turrets at the doors, and I
Hunker
turtle.
down.
It doesn't work because they do, like I said before, they do just walk up and push the things over.
Damn. You went
Yeah.
right for that bitch. I guess that works. Infinite ammo.
Yeah. You bitch.
This looks really annoying.
I should just put them in further. That's the strat. Which I am learning a little bit.
Again, this looks annoying as hell.
It is. It's not a great section. It's probably one of the weaker parts of the game.
Like the whole game. Oh! Get wrecked.
Fuck you.
Oh, Half-Life's a good game.
Oh, this guy just fucking charged on in. Bitch.
He watched Saving Private Ryan and got inspired.
Fuck you.
This sure is
Yeah, I'm
a
sorry.
tower defense section.
I don't really... This is always my least favorite part of this game, for sure.
You know, at least in Halo, you have epic music. Everyone's talking. There's always something going on.
Yeah, I do think Alyx is certainly better about the music. Because it uses... We talked about this before, but it uses stems or whatever the fuck for its soundtrack. So it amps up when, you know, there's stuff happening. Half-Life 1 and 2 using very outdated
Well, is it
music
full
methods.
stems or is it just different audio tracks? It's like in full stems, they're tiny sections of music that can be thrown together in different arrangements. So they sound different as they go. And then you can add different layers to the tracks. But like in layered tracks, it's like maybe you start with the underlying rhythm. then you start getting some percussion added, then some lead instruments and that kind of thing. And I'd say that's a different effect. So like
Yeah,
one is in
explain it
stems, it
again.
just creates the music as it goes, but in a layered soundtrack, all you got to do is put the tracks together and you just have the full track.
I think it's definitely stems because it's
Well, because I know there is like a soundtrack version on Spotify, but I don't know how edited
Yeah,
they are. Because
there
like
is
in Doom's soundtrack, Mick Gordon mixed every single song to work as an individual music track for Spotify, since it wasn't set up that way in game.
I don't actually know. I feel like because like none of the tracks in Alyx really stand out to me compared to like
Except for the ending
this
credits.
game. Yeah, it all kind of morphs together. There's one that I can think of in particular, outside of the credits theme. There's one that I can think of in particular, and it's just because it's the most unique sounding one. It's like when you first encounter antlions. I believe the song is called Antlion March, and it has this very steady like rhythm to it. Like I can think of that one off the top of my head. I can't really think of any other song in Half-Life Alyx again other than the credits. Okay,
Gotcha.
we're about ready to go into a fucking SWAT simulation. You saw my fade there. That's because I died. And I died for a very funny reason. I think I picked up an explosive barrel and shot it at my feet, but, you know, we don't get to see that.
I mean,
Oh,
that's a
bitch.
pretty cool section. Going dark
Yeah.
and then only lit by flares. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is sick. Oh, shit. Grenade, Alyx, look out. I think Alyx can die. Actually, I don't know about that. I think in episode 1 she can, and I think that was something they implemented for that game. Because she's your allied partner for that throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, that just sounds annoying.
Yeah, but she's very capable on her own. She'll only
Yeah.
really die if you are letting her get overwhelmed by a bunch of dudes.
I haven't really
And
played any
she
game
like
that's
doesn't
like...
have. I was just gonna say she also like doesn't have a flashlight of her own, so you have to light things up for her. It's a pretty cool.
That's
cool
really
section.
funny. That's like the weirdest thing to think of and implement. We're just not going to give her a flashlight, but she can use the players.
She also has an automatic flashlight in Alyx, so I find that very funny that she doesn't have
It wasn't trendy anymore, so she got rid
flashlight.
of it. You know, it's all about fashion. In City 17.
Well, no. She clearly what the different like all the G-Man did in the Alyx timeline, as we'll call it, is he added a random flashlight in a dark area for her to find, and he sealed himself in a vault. Or he got himself captured by the Combine.
He was
so
like,
that she would
no,
go
he
on
was
an
just
adventure.
thinking like, shit, Gordon's not here. She doesn't have a flashlight. Let me help her out.
Yeah. The whole story with the G-Man and Alyx is actually really cool, and I do think Alyx, like the game Alyx, makes it better with how they ended up progressing it, because in Half-Life 2, I believe episode 2, in episode 1, I think, well, no, the G-Man's completely fucking gone in episode 1, other than the very beginning. But in episode 2, you get like this thing with the G-Man. He's able to get in contact with you because all the Vortigaunts are now trying to heal Alyx because she got stabbed. Like he basically tells Gordon that he's been sizing Alyx up ever since she was like a child at Black Mesa. He like immediately, because of time shit, he saw her potential and everything. So he saved her from the Black Mesa incident along with Eli, and he's kind of been sizing her up for recruitment to his thing. And then when Gordon fails to be a suitable worker for him anymore, he just he goes back in time and creates a scenario for Alyx to prove herself to him, so he can recruit her. And I think that's a really cool way to have that progress. It's going to be very strange if they make another Half-Life game, because Alyx is just not going to be there, I assume. And they're probably going to save her for something bigger. Or we're basically going to be playing through the eyes of basically the NPCs that are around us when Gordon is the one who's getting put on ice and put on fucking quests by the G-Man. It would be kind of cool.
Do you think the next game could conclude this timeline? And then perhaps if they were to ever do an actual Half-Life 3, that it goes back to the original Half-Life 2 ending? Kind of more revisionist. But, you still have a form of closure for the stuff in City 17. Or do you think it'll further just adapt another future with the Combine? Just more conflicts with them?
Well, I don't think that there is a split timeline. Like, I don't think that's necessarily how time works in...
No, it doesn't have to be a split timeline. It could just be they just now pick up the pieces from that and then adapt that ending instead. And just make something different, unrelated.
I don't know. I feel like that would be a good way for them to like have more than just one final game. Because from what we can tell, whatever they're currently working on, probably going to be the last one, at least by the original people that made Half-Life. Because everyone who made Half-Life is now in retirement age.
Yeah.
And they did bring a lot of the people back who left after Half-Life 2 and the episodes to work on whatever they're currently working on. So it kind of feels like this is their last big hurrah for Half-Life. And I imagine they're just going to end it, and they're going to go with whatever they set up with in Alyx, because that's now just what the story of Half-Life is. It went in a different direction, quite literally.
Yeah. A new original story-driven game would be much appreciated. And just move fully away from Half-Life when they're done with it.
I mean, they could still call it Half-Life. Like they are kind of setting Alyx up now as the character you might play as instead of Freeman. So if Half-Life 3 or whatever they call it ends, and like Gordon is now like done, like his story ends, Alyx is still employed by the G-Man, so there could be more Half-Life, but I think it would take a very different form after whatever they make for Half-Life 3. So, and anyone who makes that stuff is doing it under the knowledge that the story that everyone cares about is over. Which kind of sucks, because I would so be down to get like an Alyx series of games. But we also, we still got Adrian Shepard. He's still locked away in the G-Man vault.
Only Randy Pitchford cares about Adrian Shepard.
I know.
And he's got Borderlands, so keep him away from here.
Gabe, in an interview like decades ago now, said, this is my Gabe impression. The Gearbox, like those were side stories, and we don't really want to say whether or not they're official or anything, but we don't want to discount them in our games, so fans can still speculate.
Official until we say otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, technically, there's been nothing that directly contradicts those games from existing.
It's kind of how MechAssault exists in the BattleTech universe. Nothing contradicts it, but nothing's ever going to reference it. So, canon until someone says otherwise, and it probably won't.
I would if they were to continue Half-Life and they decide to move away from any of the characters that we know. I think it would be interesting if maybe like say Half-Life 3 it ends the reign of the Combine on Earth or whatever and humanity is now free or like whatever you want to think about it. Maybe we could have like a soft reboot story, whole new characters, whole new everything. But it follows a new character that ends up getting recruited by the G-Man for whatever reason. I think something like that would be cool for the series as well. I just feel like nobody's gonna care unless you got the fucking... unless you're Gordon. Which, you know, it's not necessarily true because people did really love Alyx. Just a lot of people couldn't play it just because it was a VR game. So it's not like that game didn't do well just because you're playing as Alyx.
Well, there's that, and then just also Half-Life has been around for so long and is much older now, so it's just like all the fans who were already fans are going to play it, but you're just going to have a lot less new people playing it, and new people are going to be, you know, the biggest mass of gamers, and they're probably just not going to be much interested in it. So I think it's just kind of the fact that this series is just old. And you're going to see returning or less interest, especially because it's not a kids franchise that new generations will grow up with.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, whenever they release Half-Life, because, you know, Alyx, even though it didn't sell as well as what a non-VR game would have sold, it still lit up the fucking internet when they announced it, and, like, when it released and everything. Because people were like, holy shit, Half-Life is back, you know. I think it has that legendary status in gaming.
It does, but the more they pull that out, the less it's gonna do. You know?
No, I completely agree.
Is I think the highest selling Mega Man game, and I think if they were to do a Mega Man 12, despite the fact it's now even been a while since 11, it's not gonna do as well as 11.
No, I completely agree. I think that's probably another reason why HLX or Half-Life 3, whatever they call it, is going to be the last game. Effectively. Like, there might be more after that, but they're not going to have nearly as big of a draw to them. They're not going to have nearly as big of a like budget behind them or anything like that. It's just going to be more games. But it's not going to be like, holy crap, another Half-Life game. I mean, it will be for me. I'll be like, holy crap, another Half-Life game.
Oh, I know.
But for, like, everyone else, they're making Half-Life 3 to be the ultimate final game.
Uh-huh.
And that's okay. It makes me sad thinking about it. Because, you know, I've spent over half of my life now waiting for Half-Life 3 to happen. So when it finally does, and it being like the conclusion, I'm definitely gonna cry, I think. And that is, of course, if they don't cancel it behind closed doors, and we never know.
Mm-hmm.
Just a minute. I can't leave without Lamar.
Because it's like after Alyx, it's like I really, really wanted to believe them when they said, "Oh, this is not us just making a pit stop and leaving. We are now back in the Half-Life world and we want to make more." That's what they said after they made Alyx. I wanted to believe them, but I just couldn't. And I still can't until they release another game.
They have the worst reputation about making games for a company that makes really, really good games.
They do. They make really good games. They just don't make them very often. Not anymore, at least. Because back in the day, they were fucking pumping them shits out. Like the entire... From Half-Life 1 through Portal 2, it was like non-stop new games from them. Which is crazy. And I can definitely see why they needed a break. But it just sucks because, yeah, they did build their initial fan base as a game developer, and they stopped making games that people, for the series that they cherish and love, you know, people are not gonna stick around. And that's fine. They still, like, Valve still makes infinite money.
Nope.
But basically, we're just watching. We're watching Dog do cool stuff. He took that whole ass fucking tank straight to his face. He caught it, and he just fucking chucks it. Like, he's a boss. We love Dog.
Dog should not be this strong. Like, what the hell is this thing made of? Because this thing is stronger than that combine metal that you can't damage or dent. Like, what the hell?
He can just open their doors with his raw strength. Dog is a good boy.
That does not make sense.
And now he's gonna fight off all them bitches.
And now we'll never see him again.
No. We'll see him once we've gotten our way to the Citadel.
We'll never see him again.
Somewhere beyond the sea.
I want to watch
I'm just
Finding
gonna-
Nemo now.
I don't. Fuck Disney.